We are inching our way up onto summer solstice. So exciting. We had the full moon yesterday, and the moon is still very, very bright out there this evening. I hope everyone is sleeping well because sometimes full moons actually do that. But let's do the numerology and astrology for June 15th, 2022. If you add all those numbers together, you get the number 18. And if you add the 1 and the 8 together, you get the number 9. The number 9 is a number of completion, resolution. It brings harmony and balance from discernment, like learning through experiences and integrating those experiences, and then having the discernment so that when you see that pattern coming, instead of reacting to it, you see it and you just allow it to move past you and you don't feel like you need to karmically engage things. That's how we know that completion is neutral. And that's why when you're neutral and you can see the pattern and you just choose to not engage the pattern, that is a state of completion. So today, for some reason, the number 9 reminds me of the ancient symbol of the yin and the yang. It's often a symbol of two fish swimming together, forming a circle. It's kind of like the two nines flowing within the ponds of our endlessly circling mind. To me, the water is our intuition and our desire to find and feel into the natural flow. The two fish circling show the balanced duality in this life that is possible when we learn to embrace both the masculine and feminine sides of our nature, the light and the dark, the good and the bad. When we understand that the duality is not a problem, but the solution, then the reasoning that the number 9 exists as pattern of completion makes more sense. So I oftentimes think that as we try to look for completion, the only way out of this world is to embrace the duality. And so many people keep wanting to split the duality further and further apart. But when we recognize that, again, we are light and dark, we are positive and negative, we are good and bad, we are both sides of it, and we come to terms with both sides, then we stop triggering around the negative reflections or the patterns that we see that we judge, which are simply, if we judge it, it's just simply getting us to notice that we're not complete with a particular aspect or thing. And needless to say, there are a lot of patterns that we probably deeply subconsciously judge, even though we may not be consciously aware of it. And so the game of learning to embrace all that we are is a very Vajrayana type of Buddhist perception, which means that there is no good, there is no bad. There is only God's energy moving through the shadows and the darkness, or God's energy and light and love moving through the positives and the passionate things in life that we embrace. But we have to learn to embrace all that we are. And I oftentimes think the only way out is in, the only way out of this place is through. So continuing to split the duality and create separation only makes you more caught in the web of karma and the duality that we're supposed to be resolving. Okay, the astrology for today. The moon hangs out in determined and focused Capricorn all day. There is a feeling that we want to be prepared. The future seems a constant spinning wheel of uncertainty, and we desire to see past the circumstances and into the deeper reasons certain cycles continue to happen. In that layered understanding, we have no choice but to take full responsibility for what is happening. Only then will we actively do what is right to make the changes that have needed to happen for decades. How much is wasted in our denial? How many lives are lost because of our fear of confronting those that make the most noise and have the least competence in moral character, and who also continuously choose distortion and denial over compassion and care? While the air signs move into a trine today, there is a powerful force that intends to move things towards baby steps that demand accountability. Baby steps are not enough, but they are a start. And since nothing has been done for decades, let's celebrate a small leak in that dam of denial. We are learning to embrace the current sets of obligations that are placed in front of us. Avoiding what is never gets us the results we want. Learn to allow the communication to be more expansive, and do not let the old beliefs and limitations stop you from the changes that are unfolding. A new stability is coming into place, one based on our real strengths and abilities. That is comforting. Jupiter and Venus semi-square seems to stir us up and makes us want to go on to get going on something. A bit later, Mars and Chiron will conjunct, and that feels like the point of an arrow soaring and reaching towards a new target. Actions are being required and movement is possible, especially in the areas that seem to need and want the most healing. Something that has been held back is finally moving ahead, and that feels like a great relief from the tension that we have been holding. We are feeling more confident and more present in our body, finding the self-discipline necessary to keep going, and when we do that willingly, all things seem more stable. Thanks, everyone.